Ooh yeah, we talking electrical today. Solar panels not going to show up anytime soon. They appears that all solar panels everywhere all come from the same place, and that same place can't ship stuff anywhere. So we're kind of stuck without a solar panel. But since we have two other ways to charge the batteries, one of which is shore power, plugging into an outlet, and the other of which is charging while the car's on through the battery isolator up front from the actual car battery. That means that we can still get everything wired and fire up all of our 110 outlets, fire up all of our 12 volt outlets, and get everything roughly where it needs to be. So that leaves us with a lot of fun stuff to do today. And by the end of today, we're gonna have lights in here, we're gonna have batteries in here, we're gonna have 110 outlets that work. The whole thing's coming to life. It's so exciting. And then maybe if we got time, we'll finish some of them upper cabinets. That'd be cool. Right now, honestly, we're just waiting on a bunch of parts, but we can get done with that electrical. Okay, we are now ready to start wiring up this main panel. So basically the way it works is this leftmost fuse is going to come from the outside, that little shore power plug right there. That is going to run to that leftmost fuse, which is then going to power up the entire rest of the panel. This one is going to service everything on the passenger side of the van, and then this one is going to service everything on the driver's side of the van. So this is just going to run out from here to Romex, up through the walls, up and over and down, and pop out somewhere around here wherever we decide to install the box. We're going to plug the hot wire into each one of these, and then the ground wire from each one into this, and the neutral wire into this for the 110 volt that comes in from outside. And then behind this little box is the actual converter. And that converter will change it from 110 volt all over to 12 volt. And then this 12 volt, we're going to put some fuses in here. These are little fuse box locations. And then we're going to wire it up using these cables in the back to all of our yellow cable that runs from here to all over the van. There's a big chunk of it over there. And then once we wire it up in the back, then it's going to convert from 110 through the converter into 12 volt, which then means shore power will be powering all of our 12 volt stuff, as well as you plug it in on this red one, on the very last one, into your battery, so that way you can charge your battery using shore power. And we just made this cool little box for it to sit in, so it sits nice and flush there, and I think that looks great. And now we're going to start working on connecting everything together.
Oh, look, it fits perfectly here. We're going to have to make
I was wondering about that. They said
separate
that as you
templates.
start to go downwards, it starts to shave, right?
So we're gonna have
So the depth goes a little bit smaller as you.
So we're gonna have to make
Go
like 4
towards the-
templates for that wall.
Yeah, we're going to have to
That's
make
fine.
probably a template at every
We're gonna be super good at
place.
template making.
You could put a little shelf here for Kitty.
Oh, yeah, you could extend, you could extend the
Yeah.
bottom, and then
And
you
then just
have
not
like
put
a
it back
little
in.
Cubby.
Yeah.
cubby
Cubby
to
for
like
him.
set your phones. 'Cause
Yeah.
remember we talked about maybe a place for a
Yeah.
charging
Yeah,
station?
the charging.
So we're going to have to cut patterns for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So I let these kitchen cabinet drawers dry overnight, and now I'm putting on a second coat, and I think it's looking a lot brighter and beautiful. I really like the outcome of this. So as you can see, painting laminate is never easy or fun. I even tried sanding this earlier and it just wasn't taking. I had a really good friend, Sarah, who told me that her dad recommended, why not just stick some wallpaper on there? And that's a really good idea. So after Josh and I talked about it, I was like, what about some dry erase wallpaper? Those exist, right? And so that's what we got. We thought it might be fun to have a section of the cabinet that we could draw on, maybe write some notes on, maybe keep a shopping list on. And so that's how I came up with the idea to do a dry erase wallpaper. Some electrical work going on here.
Nothing else. Bathroom switch, dimmer. It's gotta be the kitchen.
Some templating going on over there.
If it isn't.
that will allow Josh to use shore power to run the lights
And our fan.
and the fan. All you want.
So
off
you're
the garage.
testing it out right now?
Yeah, we're testing it out with just a very small load on the other end, and seeing if we can't get some lights on permanently.
Ooh.
And then maybe later, we're gonna start charging the battery. Electrician Lisa back on the case.
Close it. Okay, good. So now when you hit the switch, it'll send power through from red to red.
Yep.
Now we just gotta get them.
And it won't get back to the panel. The power is like water. It goes through here. You're
Yep.
opening you're
Yep.
closing a valve. The water goes out, and you got to have the power, the water, get back to there. So you do it like this. But he's talking about maybe connecting this up,
Yeah, connecting that to the lights.
even though we don't need it right now.
Yes, but it would be cool.
Why do you
For
need
learning.
that for the LED? Because that then
It'll-
it gets back into here
Yes,
and then
and
back out.
to-
I
yep,
see.
It sends it back out.
We are about to test
We're gonna
whether
need a-
this
a-
switch that I wired will work or not. Ready?
This is Lisa's first live wiring test.
Is it?
I need a.
No, what about the lights of the van? Puck lights.
This is like.
Shore power.
Josh, do you know what size fuse it said?
Are you excited?
Yeah. A little nervous.
Good.
So hopefully when I turn on this switch, this LED light will come on because of this. And the puck lights will come on.
Nope, nothing yet.
Dang. What?
You don't have power coming across.
Is the fan turning?
Oh wait, no, I didn't turn this one on yet. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Now it's gonna work. Not yet.
Not yet. In a little bit. Okay, try it.
Yay!
Now try the fan.
Woo! Shore power.
Nice. We are now ready to start organizing all of our 12 volt. We turned things on like we showed you before, and the lights turned on and the fan went and it was amazing. And now we have to plug in everything else and make sure that all of our outlets have a home, like over there. Make sure that we're actually roughing it in into all the panels. And then we're going to connect all of our negatives to this little negative bus bar that we picked up for all of our 12 volt, and then all the positives are going to go into each of these little connectors. So each of these different colors, you can see there's a blue one here and a green one there and a red one down there. Each of those respond to a certain color on here, and that's how we know which one is which. And then we're just going to appropriately size the fuse. So the way that you size your fuses is pretty simple. You just take how many amps whatever you're plugging in to it draws, and then multiply that by 1.25. So for example, if we had a 10 amp thing, whatever that thing was on the other end, we'd multiply that by 1.25, get 12.5 amps, and then probably we'd upsize that to 15 because nobody actually sells 12.5 amp fuses. And you just keep on going along with everything you plug in for how much draw you have. Plug in the positive to the colored wire right here. Plug in the negative to this bus bar that goes along with the negative terminal that actually ships with the big power center. And then putting in the correct size fuse into here. You can see for our lights, they don't take much power, only a 5 amp fuse. Our fan is only a 5 amp fuse, and this one all the way at the bottom is actually for all the power being converted from the AC over to here. You just leave that one in there permanently. We just drilled a couple holes into that 2x2 back there to make sure that we could fit all of our wires into it. It looks a little bit like Swiss cheese back there, and that's exactly what you need to have happen to make your wires run neatly. So you can see that big old jumble of wires. Those are all the things that come from the other side of the van. Come here, terminate right there.
So we started to notice when we were putting on the tongue and groove that there were quite a bit of gaps between the seams, which was kind of a bummer because we thought that they would fit perfectly and they would look nice because they were tongue and groove. But as you can see, that's not the case depending on what angle you're at. So what we're doing is going around with a couple of flat edges and wood filler to fill in some of those gaps, and then we're going to paint them over with the white paint as a touch-up. I think it's looking pretty good because we had a lot of huge gaps earlier.
Yeah.
But once you identify one, you identify all of them. Even though we really liked the thinness of the 1/4 inch cedar planks, they have turned out to be a little bit more challenging to work with, I think, because they're so flexible and thin. I think they warp a little bit easier, and they don't lay down as flat on top of each other. And we had to do a little bit of stripping of them because after we painted them, the tongue didn't fit into the groove quite as nicely. So all of these reasons why maybe we would, if we had to do it again, use either thicker tongue and groove planks or not use tongue and groove. I don't know. I'm curious what other people do, because a lot of people do have tongue and groove even on their walls and their ceilings, and it always looks so beautiful. Do they have to fill it too? There's one right there that I'm gonna fill.
So we've just been sitting here just thinking, noodling about this electrical system for the past 2 hours. We've made some progress. We understand it a little bit better, but man, these camper RV system electricals are just complicated. They're just tough. We have 3 different things powering our batteries. We have all sorts of different things. We don't have the right length of cables. Meanwhile, Lisa and my mom have just been chugging along on patching all these holes in our ceiling, which I think is going to look really, really good when we're done. And then we've just been waiting for the paint to dry on our cabinetry back there, so we can cut those up tomorrow maybe. I think we're pretty close to calling it for tonight. It's been a really, really big day. It doesn't seem like a whole lot has changed, but we've done a lot. And we're setting ourselves up to really crush it tomorrow. That our brains are just mush from thinking about all this electrical stuff, we're gonna, I think, call it for tonight. So, thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. It's totally free, helps us out a lot. We'd really appreciate it. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow.
In the next one.
Yep. Bye.
What you working on?
Mapping out all the stuff for our electrical that we need. And I'm trying to get down to the level of detail where we know what sizes of cables that we need, as well as where we need all the fuses and what kind of ring terminals that we need, and every single thing, just to make sure we've got it all. There's a lot.
I like your son, Mr. Sun.
Yeah, he provides some red positive current to our solar panels.
Don't plug it in yet.
So if I turn this off now,
Okay.
Well, I don't know what you want now.
don't look at our ceilings.
Just let that thing run.
Cool.
Okay.
How are we gonna know what's pop?
Okay, so we just had to run to the. We just had to run to Hakapachapa. It's so hard to talk to a camera. So crush it tomorrow. So.
Crushing it.
Crush it.
Crush it. Crush it.